Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. Listen, I'm glad to have you guys here. Today is Thursday the 5th, March 5th, 2020. And let's get started. Let's open up the charts right here. And first thing we're going to take a look at is the silver price. Now, you know what I want to talk to you guys about? Uh, this virus, exponential growth and what it's doing, get ready. What's coming down the pike is like nothing you've ever seen before, and it's not far away. I believe a market crash is coming that's going to be bigger than anything we've ever experienced before. It's going to be just as great a magnitude as maybe even more than the 1929 stock market crash that was called the Great Depression. The system is just basically going to be flattened to the ground, the financial system. I doubt whether we'll even have much of a financial system. And it's all going to be crushed down so flat that anywhere it goes then it's going to have to be up because it's going to be down to the floor. The only place for it to go then after is up. Because when something's knocked right down to the floor, every movement it makes is going to be up at that point, because that's the intensity of this crash. And I believe that it's going to be a life-changing event for everyone involved, So what I've been planning on doing is what I've been thinking, mulling it through my mind is doing when this crisis actually occurs, it's going to be such a magnitude that for a while at least, until the markets start to actually run again, I'm going to change my format a little bit again and probably do some sort of a show during that time to try to take you guys' minds off of your problems, I'm going to do a show where I'm going to talk a lot about the old days, I think, tell stories about the old days, maybe some sort of a live show, I've been mulling it through my mind this morning, what kind of a show to do. Something that would be more upbeat and everything, rather than talking so much about the obvious. The obvious is going to be what's going to happen here and what I'm talking about here now. This is going to, instead of just being a few people out there who watch my show and realize that this is coming like I do, right now the vast majority of people don't know that this is gonna come out of nowhere and hit them, and they're not gonna know what happened. They're gonna be stunned and dazed. But at that point, everyone's gonna know, not just a few people watching my channel, what's coming. This monster of a crisis, and there's no sense talking about it at that point because it's obvious to everyone. So I'll switch my format around and I'll talk about things that. More about the happy days that we had before this happened, more about more of a little bit more of an upbeat kind of show that will improve the mood out there, But right now we're still heading toward this crisis, this monster of a crisis, and I need to talk about it. As many people need to know that this is coming, so that they can take preparations to finalize their preparations. Listen, guys, you got to start finalizing your preparations now. If you haven't done it already, put a little bit of canned food away for yourself, a little bit of bottled water away for yourselves, an emergency medical kit away for yourselves, a number of things that you can do to help improve the situation when this comes. This is like a tidal wave coming. This is very, very serious. Anyway, taking a look at silver today. $17.25 an ounce. And silver's doing good. Gold. See what gold's doing. $16.56. It's moving up $20 today on these pressures. Let's take a look now at cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrencies, 260 billion market cap, 63.8% Bitcoin dominance, with a Bitcoin price of 91.05. So cryptocurrency's doing real good. It's up. Bitcoin's up 3.99% on the day. We're seeing the we're in the early stages of what's getting ready to happen, I think, with the markets. And this is going to be overwhelmingly powerful, like nothing you've ever seen before. And why I'm saying that is got everything to do with the exponential growth of this virus around the world. Not just one exclusive, it's not just exclusive to one country. It's in almost every country now, and it's going to basically flatten the financial system, because movement of trade, countries are closing in, like they're pulling in, like India, for instance, right now, the pharmaceutical industry, that provides drugs to many parts of the world. They want it for their own country. They need it for their own citizens. They got a lot of people that live in India, and cutting things off, like supply chain distribution that gets shut down here, there, and everywhere. You guys need to be prepared for what's coming. And why is because you might not be able to buy certain things. You might not be able to buy a lot of different things. Just you can't buy it. So you got to think about these things, how are you and your family prepared, for an emergency that would maybe last an extended period of time. Okay, let's move on and let's take a look at the Dow Jones today. The Dow Jones is feeling the pressure. Now, you have to understand that we just had a 50 basis points, not 25 basis points, 50 basis points cut in the federal funds rate. And it's had almost no effect upon this market. This market's still continuing to drop at 26,397 today. And we see a substantial drop in the market today. That's with the Fed right now basically dumping billions and billions of dollars into the overnight repo market, and at the same time dropping interest rates by a stunning 50 basis points. And the market's still falling, That's because there could be a time coming in the very near future where the Fed can actually stand on their head and sing Yankee Doodle Dandy, and the market will still fall. You know what I mean? Quite seriously, because of this situation that's in the world, it's almost unstoppable. This is your black swan, by the way. We were talking for years about a black swan coming. This is it. It's it. The black swan is here. Let's take a look now at oil. Oil prices are $46.86 for Sweet Lake crude per barrel, and we see the price starting to fall off. Of course, this is going to fall big time. Oil's going to fall because people stop moving. They don't need jet fuel anymore. They don't need an awful lot of uses of fuel is going to drop off, and here you go. Oil prices, if you don't use it, you don't need it. You're not burning it in your car so much because you're not traveling so much. What happens is you see the oil price can go into steep, sharp decline, and at a certain point, America's oil production might drop off big time, and that's because oil frackers need a certain price per barrel to break even, and if oil prices drop down too low, then they can't get that price per barrel to break even. They might as well just cap the well off and send everybody home. It's as simple as that. U.S. Treasuries today. We see them panic buying into treasuries. Treasuries, the yen, Different things are safe haven assets that they consider to be safe haven assets. You know, to buy into the yen, can you imagine? They think the yen is a superior safe haven asset. To buy into the yen, I think, is absolutely ridiculous because everything's ridiculous now, except for, in my mind, except for buying into gold and silver. You know, I think everything else is ridiculous to buy into, except for gold and silver. And you want the real physical. You know, if right now, if I'm thinking in my mind about all these different safe haven assets, there's only one that comes to mind that's the absolute, really, you really must have safe haven asset. You know, and that's real physical gold and silver at this point in time, you know, with a crisis like this looming. Uh, I mean, that's the only thing that I can think of, you know. Let's take a look now at the U.S. dollar index, 96.98. And we see the dollar dropping today. 96.98 on the U.S. dollar index, and we got a dropping dollar. The dollar hasn't fell that far, but it's dropped down into the 96s. Listen, guys, thank you for listening to this show. Give me those thumbs up. It means a lot to my channel. And we'll catch you guys in the very next show. Bye-bye.